Well, I guess first off, Todd, our first conversation of 2021. A happy new year to you. Good to see you on the, good to see you, I guess, just given our current circumstance. And once again, we're relying on Zoom to do these interviews.
Yeah, thank you very much. Happy New Year to you as well. It's definitely, we've come out of a very strange year, and I'm sure for everybody a very strange Christmas season of Zooming your Christmas parties and Christmas dinners and that sort of thing. But, I think everybody's sort of doing what they have to do to get by here.
And one of those things, it would appear, is more and more Albertans are turning to an opportunity afforded them by purchasing a fishing license and going fishing. You've got some new numbers that are, quite frankly, staggering.
It's certainly, we've seen fishing numbers up a fair bit throughout the summer months, and it has continued into the fall and now even into the winter months. As of this past week, there's been 315,000 resident fishing licenses sold this year, the 2020 to 2021, compared to the previous year of 242,000. So if you are an angler and you think it looks like there's been a lot more people out at your favorite spot, there has been a lot more people. So it's pretty exciting. And to be honest, we're hoping that next year, as COVID starts to subside, and I'm crossing my fingers as I say that, that we get back to normal, that a lot of these people will still remember the fun they've had outside and will continue to buy a fishing license and get out there, enjoy it, and support the conservation that comes with it.
Yeah, you have to think that so many companies and organizations have made an adjustment, and maybe there's not a lot of people that return to brick and mortar going to work and continue to work from home and maybe adjust their schedules, and that provides an opportunity for them to go out and go fishing.
Potentially. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to be one of those people. I'm going back to the office the first chance I get. I am just not a work at home kind of guy. I find too many distractions, but certainly I know there's a lot of people that have enjoyed that. And I think that's part of it, but I think probably a bigger part of it is the fact there were few other choices for people to do things. And certainly, when you're deciding what you are going to do as a family and you're looking for something that allows for that isolation, the social distancing that we require, angling is a perfect example. You can easily go out with your family and just do it with your family, as opposed to, doing soccer games or hockey or anything else, which I think a lot of people were doing previously, and those weren't available to them. So now they've taken up the angling side of things. So by no means am I suggesting people should give up hockey. This is Canada after all. We need to keep playing hockey, but I'm hoping that they do set aside at least a few weekends in the year to fish as well.
So, Todd, obviously, with that kind of a jump in numbers, are we in a position, or you in a position, to look at increased stocking opportunities? Obviously, there's going to be more demand for fishing opportunities, maybe different fish. We've already seen the province come out with the opportunity for some to purchase tiger trout and put them into private ponds and this type of thing. What does the stocking scenario look like for the ACA?
So for this coming year, the stocking scenario hasn't changed much at all. We've got a few new ponds we're adding, but overall it hasn't changed significantly. But if this trend continues, say if we are starting to push 300,000 licenses every year, then we will know that we have sustained funding that will allow us to start looking at doing more and more stocking as we go along. So at this point, this is a 1 year blip. Like I said, we've come off what was a low the previous year, 242,000, and jumped to an extreme high of 315. So if we settle out in around the 300,000 mark this coming year, then yeah, we can certainly start to say we've got the funds available to increase what we're doing for stocking. Having said that, we are definitely working with the province and looking at different stocking opportunities this coming year. We're certainly evaluating a number of different ponds that we might be able to stock, and we're also looking at the potential for potentially changing different species. Is there opportunity maybe to put some perch in some spots where the trout just don't do well? So maybe we can take what currently is not a fishable pond and make it into a fishable pond because we've been able to put a perch in because they can survive in the lower oxygen and warmer waters than the trout we would normally put in, those kinds of things. So it's certainly something we're looking at. We're also, of course, examining the potential for new aeration to improve fisheries. Hopefully we can get more Hassey lakes out there. I don't know how many people have been out to Hassey so far, but I've been out there a couple times and it has been extremely popular. I'm seeing 50 to 100 people out there anytime I've been on the lake just over the Christmas break. So been very popular. The fishing's been pretty good, and if we can create more of those kinds of fisheries, it'd be great. So we're certainly looking at those opportunities. One of the strategies we're looking at to try and keep more of these people who have either taken up fishing for the first time or have re-engaged in fishing this year because there was little else to do is how do we make it easier for them? Can we get more fisheries close to urban centers? My assumption is that a lot of these people are coming from the urban communities, and if we had fishing opportunities close by, would they then do the fishing for a couple hours on the weekend as opposed to having to drive several hours to get to the spot in the first place? So maybe they can do their hockey and fishing at the same time. So we're trying to look at those opportunities.
Would that mean utilizing storm ponds, that type of thing within a larger urban community?
It would be great if we could. Those are conversations that we have been having with various communities. A number of the larger communities are concerned about liability issues. There's a lot of water fluctuation in stormwater ponds. Some are concerned about what contaminants might be in the water, those kinds of things. So we're working through those kinds of issues. But there are some other communities that have looked at it and said, we don't see it as a major issue. So we have been able to stock some of those retention ponds out there. One of the things that would be great is if we can sort of start moving towards having these stormwater ponds maybe designed a little differently. Maybe there's a potential to turn them into fish ponds while at the same time also being able to act as the water retention ponds are supposed to be. So those would be sort of issues going into the future we'll have to look at. But right now, we're in conversation with a number of communities that have the potential to potentially allow us to do some stocking.
Well, shifting topic slightly, the update from the angling community is pretty impressive. Do those numbers translate into the hunting community, Todd?
Yeah, we've seen a good increase in the number of hunters out there as well. This past year, we've seen the number of wildlife certificates for adults, residents, go from 101,000 last year to 128,000 this year. And then for youth, which is the part I'm really excited about, it went from 21,000 to 27,000. So a nice increase on both of those. And so obviously we've seen the same sort of uptake where people are either engaging the first time or re-engaging in hunting activities and getting out there. It didn't hurt at all that we had a really beautiful fall. It was, great to get out there for personally myself, get out there waterfowl hunting. Every day was just a beautiful day out there. So, and a lot of people have taken that up and, just realized the fun time they can have while at the same time filling the freezer with some really healthy protein. So a lot of people seem to be doing that.